providing an update this morning on the Steve Stevens investigation, the Facebook shooter. Speaking this morning will be Mayor Frank Jackson, Chief Calvin Williams, the Special Agent in charge of the Cleveland office of the FBI, Stephen Anthony, and U.S. Marshal Pete Elliott. Mayor?
Well, I want to start off by, again, giving our condolence, me personally and the city, to the Godwin family. I spoke with a daughter last night, and she is very appreciative of the efforts as we attempt to bring closure and justice to the death of her father. There is a lot of confusion, and what we want to encourage people to do is not to make up things as they go along, that we will be giving briefings in a way that will keep you updated and give you the facts as we know it. We have a partnership with the FBI, U.S. Marshal's Office, our department, and I imagine Chief, several other state and county and other municipalities who are working very hard and diligently on this matter, and want the public to know that, that we are on it and that we intend to pursue this into its conclusion. I'll introduce the Chief, who will then give you some facts, and then he'll turn it over to our federal partners.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning. As the Mayor stated, we've been on this since it happened yesterday afternoon at 2 p.m. Some of our partners are here, Mr. Anthony with the FBI, Pete Elliott, our U.S. Marshal for the Northern District. And we've conducted operations again unceasingly since this happened yesterday. Last night, officers searched dozens of locations based on leads, based on investigative information from our team out there that they've uncovered to no avail. We know that Steve is still out there someplace. We don't know his condition, and of course, we right now don't know his location. We're asking the public to remain vigilant. We're asking you to go about your day, but to be careful. We're also asking you, if you see anything resembling that vehicle, you have the description of Steve Stevens, to give us a call. Call 911. Mr. Anthony will talk about the FBI's tip line also in this investigation. But we want people to know that a lot of the things that are streaming out there, be it on social media of any kind, if you really need information on what's going on, give us a call. Or if you have information, give us a call. We don't want people to panic. So far, unfortunately, there's been one fatality, one homicide in this entire scenario, and we want to keep it that way. We're still asking Steve to turn himself in, but if he doesn't, we'll find him. We have our federal partners here, we have our state, local, county partners, and we're not going to stop until he's in custody. So with that, I'm going to bring up Steve Anthony with the Cleveland office of the FBI. Steve?
Thanks, Chief. Good morning, everyone. Rest assured that under the leadership of Mayor Jackson and Chief Williams and the Cleveland Division of Police, that all federal, state, and local partners are working side by side to do everything humanly possible to find Mr. Stevens. As the Chief mentioned, obviously this individual is armed and dangerous, and quite frankly, at this point, he could be a lot of places. He could be nearby, he could be far away, and anywhere in between. So again, if anyone has any of the information that's out there as far as seeing him, seeing his vehicle, when in doubt, obviously call 911. But we also have the availability of an FBI call number, 1-800-CALL-FBI. So that's a national tip line that's set up that anyone throughout the country could call in if they have any reason to believe that they see anything related to Mr. Stevens, to call that number, and the information will get to all the appropriate authorities that, again, are working this case side by side in a very organized and coordinated manner. Also, recently, in an effort to get the information out there, and again, you all are doing a great job of getting anything and everything out there on the billboards throughout Ohio and throughout the contiguous states. We're going to have information up about Mr. Stevens, his picture, his description, his vehicle, again, to plead with the public. If they see something, obviously say something and make that call either to 911 or call FBI. as the chief and the mayor said so clearly, I mean, the goal here, obviously I'm going to turn it over to Marshall Elliott, is to find Mr. Stevens before any other crimes are committed. We need to take this individual off the street. You all know that, and again, rest assured that we're using any and all resources to work this, not just in the Cleveland area, but throughout the United States, to locate this individual as soon as possible. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Marshall Elliott. Pete?
I'll be brief. I just want to thank everybody for that partnership. It seems like yesterday, probably a couple months ago, we were doing the same thing here on a different case. The chief called last night and asked us to come in and assist on this warrant. You know, we're going to be in tandem with the FBI, Cleveland Police, and all our agencies across America. And we're going to make this individual's world very, very, very small. So I'm very optimistic. I think things are going to happen. And I believe things are going to happen pretty quickly.
Before we start taking questions, I neglected to put this information out there. If there's somebody that's helping Steve, or if you think you're helping Steve, you're really not. You're going to get yourself in trouble along with him. The only way for you to help him is to give us the information to bring him in safely, peacefully. So if you're a friend or family member and you have contact with Steve and you think you're helping him, the only way to help him is to give us the information or to talk him and convince him into turning himself in. With that, we'll take some questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, we've gotten word from Mr. Godwin's family that there are several GoFundMe accounts set up not by the family. So they're asking people not to contribute to any GoFundMe or any memorial or any account right now in Mr. Godwin's name. The family will make an announcement later on today on how they want that to work. So if you are online or if you see an account out there in the name of Mr. Godwin, please at this time do not contribute to that account.
As far as you know, what is his latest location and any truth to this cell phone pinging in Erie, Pennsylvania?
Well, as far as we know right now, we don't know where he's at. The last location we actually had him at was at the homicide at 93rd Street, just north of St. Clair. Anything else right now is kind of speculation. Again, we have investigations going all over this country trying to pinpoint his actual location.
Did the suspect have a record? Was he known to the police?
He had no per se criminal record. He did have a lot of motor vehicle violations, traffic violations, but no criminal record to speak of.
What about his girlfriend that he apparently was talking about?
We don't know if she's a girlfriend or not, but there are several people in this investigation that we've talked to, including the female that was mentioned, and they've all cooperated so far.
Where is she now?
Well, we can't tell you where she's at, but she's safe.
Have you guys made contact with Mr. Stevens since he's been on the run? Have you tried?
Early in this investigation, we did have contact with him, direct contact with our detectives. They tried to, of course, convince him to turn himself in, and of course, that hasn't happened to date. So again, we're asking the public's help in finding this guy. We know he's out there someplace. We talked to him via cell phone, yes.
He seems kind of a little collected, at least related to the murder. Did your detectives say anything about his mindset?
No, I haven't talked to the detectives to that extent about his mindset. Obviously, he's got deep issues, and whether he was calm or not, he committed a heinous crime in this city, and we want to get him off the streets as soon as possible.
How is his family reacting? Are they helping you at all?
We've talked to the family. We haven't had anybody try to obstruct us in this investigation so far, and that's why I want to make sure people understand to aid a felon is a felony crime.
Chief, what have police done to check out the claims that he made that there were other homicides?
We've searched high and low throughout this city, places that were mentioned in the Facebook post as well as places that weren't. And again, as of 9 o'clock this morning, there are no more victims from Steve Stevens.
In talking to friends and family members, have they given you any indication that there were signs
Well, I really don't want to get into that part of it because there are a lot of things out there still to kind of nail down for our investigators. But the main thing is for Steve to turn himself in or for the public to give us his location.
Is there anything you can talk about that you're doing that won't compromise your investigation? You mean, are you trying to track down the cell phone?
We're using all investigative tools at our disposal, be it the federal government, of course, our officers, county, state. We're using every investigative tool available to us.
I know you were asked this before, but specifically this report of his cell phone pinging near Erie, Pennsylvania, is that something you can address specifically?
Again, we don't know his location, so we're asking people definitely in the neighboring states, if you see that vehicle or see him, to give us a call. We've expanded the search from the borders of the city of Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, to the Midwest, to be specific. But to answer your question specifically, I can't answer your question specifically.
Thank you. We'll be providing more media updates as information becomes available.
We have all the security parameters in place for the Cavs games that we normally do and things above that. So everybody will be safe coming to the Cavs game tonight. Thank you. Thank you. We don't know. Thank you.
We could assume that he's anywhere. We have to assume that. Look how many hours after the homicide, 2 o'clock. So you could assume he could be.
Is that beyond Indiana, Pennsylvania?
Person could go a lot of places in 12 hours.